Hello, what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about soloing, whether it's blues or rock, it would work either way, but trying to utilize more flow in the top three strings, and I'm going to play an A minor here, so I'm at the 5th fret. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is using 1, 3, 4 on the 3rd string, 1, 3, 4 on the 2nd string, and 1, 3, 4 on the 1st string. Okay? So it's kind of a symmetric thing that you can use. Lots of people use this. I'll just show you kind of what it sounds like here, of course, and I know you've probably played this, but just we'll kind of explore this a little bit. Okay? So what I like to do with this is make various kinds of patterns with it. Now, if I just use the top 2 strings, it would sound very diatonic or very modal. So if I use pentatonic on the 3rd string and then those 1, 3, 4s on the 2nd and 1st string, you'd actually wind up with what's referred to as Dorian. Now the fact that I'm putting in the blues note right there kind of breaks up the monotony of it just being very diatonic and makes it a little more, I don't know, exotic sounding sort of. So what you want to do is you want to start learning, again, whether or not you want to pick things or whether or not you want to use legato when you play. And it's always up to you depending on what you're most comfortable with. I tend to go back and forth between all of them. Sometimes I pick a lot, sometimes I play a lot of legato. In this position, I play a lot of legato. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of this movement, and you can make it straight in terms of like playing a triplet feel or a 16th note feel. Or you can just play it more in the Satriani style, where you would just be kind of playing kind of sporadic kind of around as well. But let me show you kind of the things that I'm doing in here. One thing I like to do is run right up the gut of this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the 2nd string with my pinky. I'm going to do pull-offs from pinky to 3rd to 1st. And then I'm going to go to my pinky on the 3rd string. So that sounds kind of weird. Then I'm going to go back up to the 2nd string, 1st finger. And again, that's that push thing that you really want to get used to being able to do, is pushing through. Okay, so I'm picking once, doing 2 pull-offs, and then I'm push through these 2. And you'll notice again, I'm not pausing, I'm not going, I'm going through. Now after I do that, I'm going to do 2 hammer-ons. I'm going to go back to my 3rd finger, back to my pinky. Okay, then I'm going to go to my 1st finger on the 1st string at the 5th fret here. So again, pull-offs here, push through here, hammer-ons, I have already picked this, and then I'm picking this one. And then I'm just going to start all over again. Okay? Now a lot of people will ask, you know, can you use these fingers instead? Yes, you can. The one thing I would always suggest, though, is try and get used to using your pinky as much as possible, because it is another 25% of stuff that you can do with it. Sometimes I will use this fingering if I want to take my pinky and go out another. So if I want to, for instance, come out to the 10th fret, I might use that fingering to get out to that 10. Okay? So that's a really great lick for you to start messing around with. Now what I'll do in contrast to that is I'll add on other ones. So now what I'm doing is I'm doing pull-offs, connecting to the 2nd string, 8th fret, back to the 1st string, same idea. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so I have... And when I shift strings, again, you could start with downs. I start with a down here, but because I'm going down, and then here I'm pushing those 2 downs through like we just talked about, I tend to go up here, and then down, down, and then I'd go up here again. So I can, so let me try and do this. I don't have too much distortion on this amp right now, but see, so I can combine those to make different kinds of things with that. And I can go in and out. Making up all kinds of neat stuff like that. So that's one thing I would really try and explore, is this upper area. You know, even if you just want to, you know, that's all picking it in more of a shredding sort of. Different kind of feel, obviously. If you're playing it in blues, then you're going to be dealing with a triplet kind of feel. And if you think about it, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you do the whole thing, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it wouldn't fit in terms of the 3 and 3. But again, that's kind of cool when you try and or you can play twice as fast. Again, whether you're using it rhythmically or more of a Satriani kind of. The last thing I'm going to show you with this is using in and outs. What I think of it as is if I've got all these. Again, we just talked about how I could go all the way up or all the way back down. Okay, or I could make hammer on a pull-off ideas like we just did. The last thing I would do is learn how to kind of move in and out. So for instance, if I was to play these two notes on the second string of 5 and 7, because I'm using 5, 7, 8 the whole time. So I would play 5 and 7, and then 5 and 8 on the next string, or I'd play 5 and 7 on the first string, and 5 and 8 on the second string. So instead of playing all three, I would shake up which two I'm doing, so I'm not just playing minor pentatonic all the time. Or vice versa, not just major pentatonic. Pentatonic would be 5, 7 on the top two strings. Major pentatonic would be. Minor pentatonic would be 5 and 8 on the top two strings. So what I'm doing is combining. But again, now you really start getting into phrasing again, trying to make things sound a little more rock and roll or a little more blues or whatever you're looking for. So, you know, there I might be using 1, 3, 4 on the third string because it's got my blues note, and I might just go pentatonic minor on the second string. And then maybe just use 1 and 2, or excuse me, 5 and 7 on the first string. See, there's that lick again. The only difference there is instead of playing the 3 notes on the second string, going 8, 7, 5, like that, like I just showed you, I'm skipping the 7 on the second string. I'm just going 8 to 5 minor pentatonic. Okay, so there's lots of neat little things that you can come up with inside that position. So anyway, see you soon.